Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Hi, Marcos.
Welcome to Fountainhead. This is the residency place.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. So this is the house where we stay. We're like three artists.
Right now, it's three of you or four of you?
Three of us.
Three of you.
Yeah. So this is Portia's space. Like she works in this area. This is like the kind of like living room, like a common area. Everything is like pretty common, we share spaces, but we decide like each one of us having our own like situation.
Section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kitchen is over there.
Because this is the oldest live and work residency, I believe, in Miami.
I don't
so you
know.
guys live here.
Yeah, we live here. I mean, we're
time
gonna spend like 1 month here. We have 2 weeks so far. So yeah, you will see kind of like processes and stuff. There's like kitchen, like more like studios, like
Hi.
in the back. Portia,
Portia.
an amazing artist. Like she's the one having this space, And then there are like some rooms over there,
And the bedrooms over here.
like the bedrooms and the bathroom, I guess. Like I never been there because it's their room,
Yeah.
So this is like my space,
This is your studio. You have
This is my
sunlight.
studio and this is my room. So it's very convenient for me because my studio is like the one connected, like the room, with the bedroom
And the bedrooms in here.
Yeah.
How did you apply to Fountainhead? What made you apply?
So I got nominated by another resident, like alumni, seems like this is like new for me because I guess like we nominate like people like after we were here,
After
like
you serve it,
alumni,
After you,
So yeah, like this Barish Göktürk is like an artist from like Turkey who lives in New York. He's based in New York, and he's we were together in another residency, and we have like a project together. We were like working for years, and he's a good friend of mine, and like it was like a surprise for me. Like I got nominated by him, so
nice.
It's amazing. So I applied, and then we have an interview, and yeah, things worked out, and I'm here.
How long is it for? How long is the residency for?
1 month.
1 month.
Yeah.
You get a month, and during this time, you have to work on a project.
Not really, not necessarily. Like depends on you, like what you want to do. Like they kind of like tell you what are the options, and they ask you like what you want to do, like during your time here. Like for me, like it's a thing that I need to do, like painting, like doing stuff, working.
Yeah.
But what I like about this residency is like it's really well connected. Like they are really like they know like everybody here. Like that's what it seems, So you have incredible like studio visits from people that are in the local scene, really established collectors, like curators, from museums. It's crazy, like the amount of people we've been like having here for the last 2 weeks, Yeah.
Where are you from originally? Because you're Mexico.
I'm from Mexico City.
Mexico City.
Yes.
And you've always been into the arts?
I always been into the arts. Like I was born actually, like family of artists. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, for me, it's like this has been like a thing since like always, Like yeah. Yeah, I decided like being an artist. Like when I was like really young, I went to art school, and then I wasn't really like into I was really in another like art scene, like the one, in Mexico City. There's like a really important like thing that happened in the 90s. Like these guys called La Panaderia, they started like kind of like a movement, like I don't know if they know they did it like for us. Like when I was like a teenager, I was in like high school. I used to hang out there with my friends, but I was like, oh, this is the stuff I want to do. And then I went to art school, and then I started like having my own like group of friends, like, and we started like working together with like having this like huge like space, like it was like an abandoned house, and we kind of like like somebody like gave us the house, and but we took over in a way also, and we had it for 3 years. We were like doing our own stuff, like a group of like 13 artists, like from Mexico City, like most of. Yeah, I guess no, not really for Mexico, but like not Mexico City.
So you had your own little like a collective.
Yeah, it was like a collective, but it was more like the space, like working, and then like we became like a collective, like naturally. Like we start like doing stuff together. We start like making projects, but I feel like we're running the space. The space had its own like vibe, and we invite like people to work like they're also like not necessarily they belong to our like collective, right. But yeah.
I find more and more that happens. That's something that artists do the organizations for themselves, like artist-led organizations where you come together and work and put out work in the same place. I think that's wonderful because sometimes it's so hard to break into a gallery or,
I feel like, like now that I see all this, like with this like distance of like time with some perspective, I can tell you that it was not like what we were like trying to do. Like we were planning to fit in the art scene.
Yeah.
But now I see like it's like a way of like a really like necessary like way of doing it for many people, because like sometimes you don't have like kind of like the spotlight, like to be an artist is like it's hard, and then they can be really competitive. So like like the collective, like bringing together like people who has like common like interests, and being able of like articulate your own like ideas through, because like it's not just like having like artists, but like also like people who's thinking, I don't know, like curators or like critics or
yeah,
people who's like part of this like generation, part of this collective, who are like the one, kind of like the ones who are like developing like a new like path. So for young artists, I guess like I would say like that's a way of like doing it, in a way. Yeah.
And how long have you been here?
In Miami, in the residency, like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Is this your first time in Miami?
It's not. Here? No, I've been here like. I mean, I try to come like every year for the art fair. Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah. So, can you describe a typical day in the studio? Being here,
there's not such a thing as a typical day.
But yeah, I mean, like, I
can tell you what I did today, which is like every day is been like different. Like yesterday, for example, we went to spend the day with these guys, amazing guys, like with like yeah, like people who like collectors, like they are super generous, who like took us like in their boat like to spend the day.
Nice.
Like like so
but
I was
also like a networking opportunity, not just
yeah, like Catherine and Dan were like they are like so connected with everybody, so like yeah, I don't know. So today we had like many studio visits. Like many people came today.
Do come. So usually people do come to visit you.
But this is weird. Like not every day. So like sometimes like we go like visit like a specific like project, like a museum, or then like a collection, or like an opening, and then we have like people here like visiting. So it's been like so different like every day. So it's hard to describe like a common day here, I guess. Mm-hmm.
Can you show me your setup?
Yeah. So well, I mean,
it's nice because you have some natural light.
I do have like really nice light, yeah, and also I have this like situation like happening here, and
something I noticed about your work is that you work very large. So I was thinking, like, how are you going to manage if the space is not that big? Like,
well,
how are you going to do it?
I mean, I'm like, it's good enough, like it's big enough for me to work. Like, it's not like crazy large like sizes, but I'm like, I didn't know what I'm gonna do here, so I was just like kind of like reacting to the stuff that I'm interested in. So,
are you working on a particular project now? Like it's in mind?
I wouldn't say like it's a project. I mean, I just start like like finding like crazy like fauna and like animals like here in the nature and like these birds that I don't remember the name like
Yeah.
but it's like
These
birds
little, oh yeah,
like
they're everywhere.
they are everywhere and but for me it's the first time like seeing these guys so I started like making like drawings of this so
Your specialty is painting, no? You're a painter.
I'm a painter,
Yeah.
yeah, but like drawing, I started like drawing a lot, like kind of like in the beginning of my career, was so into just like drawing, just like not painting but drawing, and at some point I decided to change, and so for me now it's like kind of like start like because drawing has been always like a thing. I have my sketchbooks and I do like make like stuff, like all the time, like it's like. For
You keep
me,
your sketchbook.
yeah, this is my sketchbook, So it's like just like ideas, like not really like nothing like finished, and but I use them for like paintings, in a way,
An idea for the larger painting.
or installations or something like or sometimes they just stay there for years and then I come back to check, like ideas or whatever, and so like this time I was like, okay, I'm gonna since like I don't really have like much to like material to paint, because my studio is there. Like I brought like some stuff, but I start like making like large or kind of like medium large scale like drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean this is stuff that I'm doing here also. Because like
because your work, it's what's funny is that with your exhibits that I've seen, you don't stay inside the lines. Like let's say you kind of use the entire environment in your work.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How did that idea come about?
That's like I'm gonna like you want me to show you something like in the computer, like
yes,
I guess like because this is like I guess like a way to illustrate a little bit of how I'm like.
Because I know you work massive.
Yeah, I mean, like this is like, for example, like a huge, like massive, like exhibition.
It will become this landscape that comes alive.
It's kind of like crossing that boundary you're talking about. Like the boundaries of the format of the,
yes.
like of the painting, and then like take it to another like dimension, or like kind of like not being just a bidimensional like work. So this is a show that I had like I participated in like some years ago, a Mayo museum called Otros Mundos. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see.
I know I saw that, and it was interesting because
it's kind of like the canvases,
right?
And then you can see how I connect them through the like a mural or something.
The wall becomes a canvas, so it is like a mural.
Exactly. The wall becomes a canvas. Like so, all of the paintings are like kind of like like living in the same like universe, and what connects them is like the like the painting. So,
are you inspired then by muralists?
Yeah, I do. For like Mexican muralism, like it's one of my first like influences.
Who is your favorite?
I guess like Jose Clemente Orozco and David Alfaro Siqueiros, but also Camarena is one that I'm so interested. That I have like, so I'm gonna show you another like show. El estado de las cosas, because I start like working with this.
I love this
idea, and this comes after like the painting of this guy González Camarena, who has like the image of a volcano exploding and like erupting and whatever, and then that's an image that I have in my head because like the muralist or the muralism, as an artistic movement in Mexico, it helped or it was like a tool to like like reinforce the idea of identity in Mexico. So there are like so many images like the books of history used to illustrate history, but it's like it's about the imagination of like a specific like person, you know. So yeah, I was like, okay, I want to, you know, like kind of like try and bring like these symbols and like stuff to the conversation again, but I want to break also like the boundaries of the painting in a way, you know, kind of like expand it, you know. So yeah, this is like for me, like you know, like in the it's like kind of like the yeah, if you can walk through the painting, you know, you're becoming part of it, you know. And also,
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you.
Is it because you have to think also about the venue itself? So the venue
Of
becomes
course.
part of the project.
Of course, of course. Like for me, it's like so this venue, like this museum, is like one of my favorite ones. Like it's in Mexico. It's called Chopo Museum, and I was like since I was like an art student, like I love the space, but it's a so difficult space. Like this, like gallery in particular, which is like massive, like open space.
You could
So,
tell. Yeah.
yeah, it's like yeah, like a person must be like less than this flag here, you know. So I'm gonna show you video so you can have like a better understanding of. Let me try to find it here on Instagram. I guess like this. I don't know if because I must have it here. Okay, so yeah, I feel like here you can really see, you know,
Yeah.
catch like kind of like the size of the space, you know.
So when you think of, so when idea comes about, you always think of the venue as well, and how to
Yeah, for me,
how
yeah.
how all the paintings like almost comes alive. It becomes like 3-dimensional, really.
Here it was like that, but like not necessarily like all my exhibitions are like that, you know. Like here, for me, it makes sense like having this kind of like experience or you know like way of like thinking or I mean it's also like stuff that I've been like thinking, not necessarily related to the space, but in this particular like venue, it makes so much sense having this project. And since I was telling you, like I know this space and I was like a student, so by the moment they invited me to do the show, which was like not too long ago, I had like years like thinking of projects for that space in my mind. So I had like really like 10, I don't know how many like different projects that I could have like done, you know, because it's really a space that I like. It's a really, I feel like it's a very challenging space. I was all the time like criticizing like, you know, like my colleagues, like my artists, like friends, like, no, I feel like that's not kind of like this because it's really like overwhelming. It's like huge. It's among us, you know. So I had like an idea. So when finally happened, like they invite me to shows, like yeah, I have like at least three ideas that can you know like work there. And but for that I need to know the venue. It's like yeah, that's the thing. I need to know the space. Like otherwise, like it's it's hard for me just like thinking in a show where I'm just gonna send like the work and I'm not aware of the space. You
You're
know,
not, yes.
because
You have to kind of get to
because
know
there's
it.
like
Yeah.
a relationship between the pieces and the space and also if, like many times I have the show like with the paintings and then I go to the space it's like no I'm gonna start like doing the mural for example this stuff where I connect them, you know. That was like a last minute like decision, like I wasn't planning on doing that. When I was there, like no, let's change it, you know. And that's what I think that I like, you know, like you that I can keep creating while you know we're installing the show, you know. So
have you gotten any obstacles or challenges when doing an installation?
there are always challenges, like always, like no matter what, like always, like I always feel like I'm not gonna make it, you know, like yeah, and I get like really so stressed out, you know, like yeah, it's really intense, but in the end it happens, like you know, like it's kind of like life for me, you know, like it's never like flat and nice, and no, there's always like, okay, let's try to climb that thing, because it's what makes like fun stuff, for me, like, oh yeah, if I would think like differently, I guess, like, yeah, I would be doing all kind of like work job, but yeah, I love art.
How's the difference between in terms of Mexico and Miami?
It's so different, like everything, like it's so so different. It's another world. I think the only similar thing is like we speak Spanish, like, because here everybody speaks Spanish. But in I don't know, like this art scene is very different. Like I feel like here is like really. I mean, you can see like how like money is a really important thing. Like
Yeah,
it's like there's a
it
lot.
is.
I mean, it's expensive, but also like this stuff of showing. Like the money showing. Like it's like in Mexico it happens in certain areas, but it's not really a thing. It's like it's a kind of like Mexico City is not a. I mean, there are definitely like areas of the city where you can see like this, like money or whatever, but no, it's not part of the culture, And whereas in Miami, for me, it's like I noticed that like a lot, There's like nature here is amazing. Like I feel like we are like all the time here in Miami, like where you are
Inspired by the nature of it.
and surrounded, like you is everywhere, like. And I feel like being with local people that they don't notice like so much stuff like that, like the birds.
That's
Like,
the fun part is that
yeah,
you'll see it,
yeah,
but something that us that maybe we're here and we see it all the time, we almost become accustomed to it,
yeah,
and then you from outside come with different eyes,
yeah.
and kind of maybe catch the beauty, much more than us
I mean,
locals.
but I feel like, I mean, of course, like I'm it's more like noticeable for me, like, but for like, I feel like that's also why like many people has been moving here through the years, I remember like coming here for the first time, like, I don't know, like about like 19 years old. I mean, no, I was not 19 years old, sorry. It was 19 years ago,
Mhm.
or 20 maybe. And that was maybe the first time I was here, and it was completely like different, like city, like.
Yes, that's another thing. Miami changes overnight. Is that's not the same thing in Mexico, no?
It's been changing a lot too. Like after the pandemic, like, and I felt something similar happening here. Like many people
Yes.
start like moving like there to Mexico City because it was back then affordable. It was like beautiful city, but like it was like kind of like authentic, and it was like the weather is not so bad, So people start like moving there. People, American people, like a lot of Americans, like European people. So now it's super expensive, like and it's like and it's growing, like it's changing like crazy, like crazy, crazy.
Here, it's artists to acquire a studio is so hard and difficult. It's so hard for artists to get some studio space. It's not the same thing in Mexico.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's
Yeah,
the same. Do you have a studio space over there?
I mean, it's like you gotta move to. I mean, we end up like moving to other like areas, like more like poor areas because of that. It's what gentrification like
Yes.
does, right? I mean, and I feel like artists, like many times we are like kind of like agents of gentrification. Like we don't. It's like natural the way it happens. It's not like we were trying to do or we're avoiding doing it because it kind of like happens. We like become the trend. And that, yeah, and we are affected too. We have to move to other places, and that's exactly what is happening in Mexico City
Wow.
now. Yeah,
Same as here.
yeah,
Wow. And Fountainhead, how has the experience been so far? You've
it's
been busy.
amazing. I've been busy, and I can tell you, like, it's a very unique and special residency. I participate in so many, like
Through the years.
the years,
Mhm.
and like this one is amazing. It has like some like, I don't know if I can compare like I don't know, like with food, for example. It's like really like homemade like
Yes,
thing.
because you guys have to cook here. You cook for yourselves, and
we can go out too, but like cooking here is amazing. It's like sharing. It's like, and there are a lot of residency where I end up, you have to cook, but I feel like here is different because we have like the kitchen is like a common space.
mm-hmm.
So we share like time there. We talk. Yeah, I don't know. It's a nice experience, and also, like the people like running like Fountainhead, like they are like family. So you feel like welcome, like as you were part of the family.
What they've doing is remarkable. It's so
Yeah.
It's such a gift, and it's really rare. And I love the concept because also you come in and you leave with friends.
Yeah.
Friends from different places and different countries and different states.
Yeah.
And it almost becomes then a stronger bond with other artists.
Exactly, that's the thing. That's what happens. Especially, yeah, we're bonding all the time. Like with people, but with the artists here, like crazy, and with like Catherine and Dan, like yeah, they become like like family. It's crazy. It's super nice. Francesca, yeah.
Oh, Francesca's really sweet. Who made this happen? Our interview happen.
Oh yeah.
Who are some of the artists that you're influenced by, aside from Mexican artists? Is there anybody you're loving at the moment?
I don't know. I mean, like there are like many artists that I admire. Like, let me think. I mean, there's like a bunch of them. Like I'm so bad right now thinking somebody in specific. I mean, like, I can say like people from my generation, people that I'm close with, like that I work with, like I don't know, like my friends, like.
Do you collaborate?
No, just like I admire them, and I have collaborated with some of them because there are like many. I mean, like I follow all the time, and I guess like Instagram is a tool for that, All the time it's like, wow, this is crazy. Follow,
Yeah.
So now it's like
you discover a lot of artists on.
I'm all the time like
all the time
like
on
artists. Like I'm so bad at names, so. But I don't know that. Yeah, there are like so many artists that I admire. Like. I mean, like my work is really like like based in specific ones. I guess like from this tradition because also I'm interested also like in or kind of like my ideas can like navigate through these previous ideas of these artists. But at the same time, yeah, like I have like so many like painters. Um, I feel like for me, like right now, painting is like the thing that I appreciate, like the most, So,
have you thought about other types of mediums to explore?
I mean, I've been doing like tile,
I saw that. Are you doing this? This might be a new project.
This is like a project, like parallel to my painting, like part. But I've been like working for, the last like.
It's a new way of.
Like
canvas.
Months, yeah. It's like because it's like painting. It's like it's similar to watercolor in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to work with it?
No, it's. I mean, it's difficult because it's like it requires like some like time and patience. Like when you fire, like when it goes to the kiln.
Yes.
Like. And also like the reaction that happens, that you need to guess like how the color are gonna look like because the reaction is completely different, But once it's done, it's like I'm so happy with the result, and also so I mean, like doing a work like it's not this like colorful like painting, but this blue like tile, like
yes,
and it comes from a tradition, in Mexico that comes from Europe, that comes from China, So since like part of I guess the stuff I'm interested in is like to use like certain like symbols related to this history of Mexico. You can trace like a part of where like certain like materials and stuff from Mexico where they come, like the tile, like the ceramic, like this type of ceramic. It comes from China, and then China was like very expensive or very hard to export like this thing. So in Portugal and in Delft in Holland, they start like making these like shops for to create their own like like Chinese ceramic, but like in the time they were doing that, they developed their own like language, and then from there they went to Spain when Spain was occupied by Arabic like countries, and so you can see how like they're like start like having like an influence of these like symbols and stuff, and then from there it went to Mexico when it was conquered by Spain, and and so all these like images they start like having also like indigenous in a way like influence. So and it's exactly the same like material, So I like to use it and kind of like create like these historical like images also and change it
and incorporating with these.
Well, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen with this. I really like. I mean, I'm excited about just like being here and flowing, and I don't know exactly what I'm like doing in the end, but I just like to experiment to try this. Going back to drawing and then using some like paint, like oil, to highlight stuff or to. I don't know. I'm just like flowing right now. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited.
What's next after Fountainhead? Do you have another residency?
I have some projects, not a residency, but I'm like working for like in collaborating with some people for another show in Japan. I have like this like grant in Mexico called Sistema Nacional de Creadores, which I have to like create like a specific like body of work for like 3 years, like a 3-year grant. So I mean, just like it is related to this idea of expanding like the boundaries of the painting. So I'm doing that. I'm working that. I'm running a project in Mexico City. Another like 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 it's hard to define like that project. It's a project called Obrera Centro, which is space where we invite people to gather and to have like just like connection, to spend time there. Like we don't make shows. It's not like a gallery.
Exchange ideas then.
It's to exchange ideas to create kind of like knowledge, in a way. It's like we have like this like study group about like drawing. We have like a tool library project where we like a lend and borrow like tool project. It's free for people. We have like many people have like stuff like happening there. Like a stage, like a kind of like theater like stage or something like that, or kind of like to rehearse like stuff or to perform, or so it's like like a crazy place. And my studio is there, so my work is half of the time like running that project and being an artist.
Is there anything that you wish you were told? Do you have an advice, let's say, for young students of things that you've learned that maybe you could pass on?
I was telling you before, like about how I was talking to you of how I started being an artist. That I feel like that would be my advice. Like, it's important having or being together with the group of people you're growing with,
collaborate.
The people you're like developing your career, because if you start like collaborating, it's easier to be seen. For me, that's how it went. I wasn't planning or thinking that's going to happen, but in the end, now that I can like move forward and see that distance, it created like opportunities for many of my friends and my colleagues, friends and me, like having this group of people, this collective, like this idea. Like the other day, I was talking, I guess, with my residency mates about how like the like the street can have like a like a bunch of people like connecting, being a feast instead of just like individual like figures, you know. So like that in terms
make connections.
Yeah, in the art, it's like it's very powerful. Like you can be like have like a presence with that. You know?
Marcos, thank you so much for your time today. I know you're very busy, and congratulations on this residency. Is incredible. And you are here until when? When's the last day of the residency?
The 19th. On the 13th, we're gonna have an open studio. Like it's open. So
on the 13th of this month. Yes, in March. Yeah. Okay, we'll have those details down below, and I'll have contact information down below in case you want to learn more. Reach out to Marcos. Thank you so much. Bye.
Ciao.